powerful for trading systems. Now, later in this presentation, I will show you how it is affecting, the trade finance, how the Bitcoin, this blockchain technology is, doing that. IBM is working on that one, and they have launched an application which will be used for this particular reason to solve the problem of trade finance. Apart from there, very interesting is that you are using these counterfeited products, especially in aeroplane. We are, aeroplane, if 2%, they are saying that, the report is saying that 2% today, the 2% parts of an aeroplane is counterfeited. You can imagine that you are, flying in a plane and the most important parts is counterfeited, what will happen? So the process is called provenance, to check whether from factory, which factory these products are coming and how they are coming. Blockchain basically technology, later I will show a small clipping that it will show that how it is recording that from which part, which place these products are coming and where they are coming and how they are reaching. This all be recorded. Today, blockchain is very much well popular to be used in supply chains. Supply chains in which food market, Walmart have already made an agreement with IBM and other some companies to implement blockchain technology. Recently, just I think last week or 3-4 days, Carrefour have made an agreement for that one. They will be using for their product blockchain technology. But how this will be used is very interesting. That, like, I give you an example that, in I think UK, some children die and these products were there. They don't know that what are the products and from where they're manufactured. If you're eating a chicken or something like that and you want to know from which breed, which is a boiler, or from where which came, so barcode it, there will be barcode. If your mobiles are very handy, when you are recording on that one, you will come to know that this chicken, where is breed, from where it was slaughtered, whether it is halal or not, and where it was transported, how long it will take, and when it was slaughtered. So these all information, but this will be a chain or informations. And how blockchains work now, we see.
Blockchains are incredibly popular nowadays. But what is a blockchain? How do they work? What problems do they solve? And how can they be used? Like the name indicates, a blockchain is a chain of blocks that contains information. This technique was originally described in 1991 by a group of researchers and was originally intended to timestamp digital documents so that it's not possible to backdate them or to tamper with them, almost like a notary. However, it went by mostly unused until it was adapted by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 to create the digital cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Now, a blockchain is a distributed ledger that is completely open to anyone. They have an interesting property. Once some data has been recorded inside a blockchain, it becomes very difficult to change it. So how does that work? Well, let's take a closer look at a block. Each block contains some data, the hash of the block, and the hash of the previous block. The data that is stored inside a block depends on the type of blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain, for example, stores the details about a transaction in here, such as the sender, receiver, and the amount of coins. A block also has a hash. You can compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and all of its contents, and it's always unique, just as a fingerprint. Once a block is created, its hash is being calculated. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So in other words, hashes are very useful when you want to detect changes to blocks. If the fingerprint of a block changes, it no longer is the same block. The third element inside each block is the hash of the previous block. And this effectively creates a chain of blocks, and it's this technique that makes a blockchain so secure. Let's take an example. Here we have a chain of 3 blocks. As you can see, each block has a hash and the hash of the previous block. So block number 3 points to block number 2, and number 2 points to number 1. Now the first block is a bit special. It cannot point to previous blocks because, well, it's the first one. We call this block the genesis block. Now let's say that you tamper with the second block. This causes the hash of the block to change as well. In turn, that will make block 3 and all following blocks invalid because they no longer store a valid hash of the previous block. So changing a single block will make all following blocks invalid. But using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers these days are very fast and can calculate hundreds of thousands of hashes per second. You could effectively tamper with a block and recalculate all the hashes of other blocks to make your blockchain valid again. So to mitigate this, blockchains have something that is called proof of work. It's a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes about 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. This mechanism makes it very hard to tamper with the blocks because if you tamper with one block, you'll need to recalculate the proof of work for all the following blocks. So the security of a blockchain comes from its creative use of hashing and the proof of work mechanism. But there is one more way that blockchains secure themselves, and that is by being distributed. Instead of using a central entity to manage the chain, blockchains use a peer-to-peer network and everyone is allowed to join. When someone joins this network, he gets a full copy of the blockchain. The node can use this to verify that everything is still in order. Now, let's see what happens when someone creates a new block. That block is sent to everyone on the network. Each node then verifies the block to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with. And if everything checks out, each node adds this block to their own blockchain. All the nodes in this network create consensus. They agree about what blocks are valid and which aren't. Blocks that are tampered with will be rejected by other nodes in the network. So to successfully tamper with a blockchain, you'll need to tamper with all the blocks on the chain, redo the proof of work for each block, and take control of more than 50% of the peer-to-peer network. Only then will your tampered block become accepted by everyone else. So this is almost impossible to do. Blockchains are also constantly evolving. One of the most recent developments is the creation of smart contracts. These contracts are simple programs that are stored on the blockchain and can be used to automatically exchange coins based on certain conditions. More on smart contracts in a later video. The creation of blockchain technology piqued a lot of people's interest. Soon others realized that this technology could be used for other things, like storing medical records, creating a digital notary, or even collecting taxes. So now you know what a blockchain is, how it works on a basic level, and what problems it solves. Want to learn how you can...
You see in this video that how the blockchain is working is that one is timed and stamped and it is interlinked on all the one. And it is referring to the previous block. So once you cannot change these things. The reason it's not changing is that one that each node means that each computer, each system which is connected to that one have the complete copy of all the information. In the Bitcoin, when you are doing the transaction, there are two types of nodes. One is normal node, other is the minor node. That normal node and minor node, whatever, they have the complete transaction. In every 10 minutes, it will refresh it throughout the millions of computers which are connected with each other. So it means if today I want to make changes, I have to change the record in 1 million, around 5 million computers. It is impossible. So that's why a trust in me developed that once something is recorded, it cannot be reversed. So this is the main concept, and the blockchain basically are of two types: public blockchain and private blockchain. Public blockchains are the one like which we use for cryptocurrencies and other platforms to do the transactions, and other are the private blockchains. Private blockchains are in which recipients could be private. Like if we want to develop for tax purposes, government want to develop a software using the blockchain platform. It could be the taxpayers, government, buyer, supplier, government and banks. So it will be called a private blockchain in which limited participants are there. What are the other some of the cases which blockchain has been using very much popular around today? Blockchain basically has been used for cryptocurrency. Around 54% has been used for cryptocurrencies, banking and other purposes. And apart from there are land registry, identity, supply chain, food and taxations. These are the one in which huge amount of work can be done, and white paper, concepts, so many things are being done to implement these things, these all platforms on blockchain. Now, most important thing is, one of the thing is the supply chain. In supply chain, you said there counterfeit drugs are there in India, then contaminated infant milk powder in China. There are so many cases explored that food, food stuff in UK, black blood diamond, livestock, aeroplane parts, which I have already mentioned, that cargo and shipping, like trade finance, clothing, manufacturing, counterfeited alcohol, and so much other things, which this problem can be solved by using the blockchain technology. Now, there is, in this video, is a supply chain, that how, this is very important video, which will show that what future prospect can be used and how can be used in supply chain.
If you think your coupa was made in a coffee maker in under 2 minutes, think again. Hello there, I am a proud Arabica coffee bean. My journey has been long, and I have passed through many hands: farmers, traders, shippers, insurers. The coffee supply chain has too many stakeholders. Have you ever wondered about my lineage? Did you know it has always been near impossible to track where or how your coffee was made? Until recently, when blockchain technology took over and brought accountability into the supply chain. Today, you can trace your coffee's journey from Brazil, India, or Indonesia from the very beginning.
Basically, I want to interrupt that one. This video will show that a coffee bean, when implanted, how it grow up, how it transformed, how it shipped, and how it came to its destination and used in a coffee cup. So it will be interesting to see that all procedure, each and everything will be recorded in the supply chain on a blockchain.
If you think your coupa was made in a coffee maker in under 2 minutes, think again. Hello there, I am a proud Arabica coffee bean. My journey has been long, and I have passed through many hands: farmers, traders, shippers, insurers. The coffee supply chain has too many stakeholders. Have you ever wondered about my lineage? Did you know it has always been near impossible to track where or how your coffee was made? Until recently, when blockchain technology took over and brought accountability into the supply chain. Today, you can trace your coffee's journey from Brazil, India, or Indonesia from the very beginning. Are you enjoying my story? Let's move on to the next phase and look at the planting process. Miguel, my farmer, although a tad rough, was a great guy. He planted me in the best possible soil, protected me from harsh sunlight, and nourished me with water. He waited patiently until I was strong enough to brave the outside world before replanting me. Replanting took some time, and getting used to my snoring neighbor took even longer. Let's move on to the next phase of my life. Here's where I met Mr. Inspector for the first time. Pulling and twisting my arms and legs, he poked and prodded every bit of me. And recorded all my details, including my height, fertilizer use, farm, and family I came from. And stamped my tamper-proof origin certificate digitally. Then began my happy hours at the spot, or what Miguel calls harvesting and processing. I was blocked, honed, polished, graded, sorted. Oh, bliss. All these, while registration details, crop information such as variety, temperature, and humidity were being recorded. Finally, after getting stamped with a quality certificate, I was sent off to the next phase of my life, transportation. Want to join me in my next phase? Let me warn you, it's a rocky road ahead. The journey began with insurance. I was insured well. In case something happened to me, at least Miguel wouldn't lose his livelihood. Shipping was hard though. I had to say goodbye to many of my brothers before hopping into the Sisada. After a long journey, I reached the party central, the warehouse. I met so many other coffee beans from across the world and just chilled for a while. While I was partying, BlockChain ensured that shippers delivered me to the right address. Miguel got paid in real time, and the importer got his delivery on time. This brings us to the last phase in my journey. You are now very close to your hot, steaming Cuba. A nice long sauna bath at the perfect temperature to retain my aroma, while the roaster recorded my details. Then, when I winked at you from the supermarket shelf, we both knew it was love at first sight. So, that's my life in a nutshell. It's all because of BlockChain that you are sure of the authenticity of my origins. It has brought transparency into this dynamic demand chain. BlockChain ensures that nothing gets in the way of brewing your perfect shot of espresso. Take our trivia test, and when you are done, use the app next to the coffee maker to enjoy your steaming Cuba with the goodness of BlockChain.
Now, you have seen that in this blockchain supply chain, how the blockchain is disrupting the supply chain technology. Very importantly, these things will widely used in agriculture in India and Pakistan. Jahangir Tareen, they had a team of people, they are working on blockchain, and they are from Microsoft, they are doing these things and working for that one. Apart from there, in India, there is advancement in there. Blockchain with a combination of IA and IoTs are disrupting the technologies. One, they are using the drone. Like if you have a very huge farm of mangoes and then you have to see the temperature and everything of the mango, where they are ripened, what is the condition. They are using the drone to take the pictures and see that this. So otherwise they would be requiring 40 or 60 people to work. So only a single drone is going that one. They are recording these things. What will happen is that today, like we are sitting in UAE, we want to order a mango. We don't know what is the quality of mangoes and these things. If these details and their quality, their temperature, when they were plucked out, when they were grown, which farm, these information, if are authenticated, are given to us, which were developed on blockchain, so we can order directly from the farmers. So what happened? The intermediaries are being wiped off. The prices will go down, the quality will go up. This is the main concept of blockchain technology, that they want the intermediaries and other to perish, and faster reliabilities and the cost goes down. So these things are very much going in agriculture, especially in our countries and other parts. Vietnam is very much advanced doing this. You will be surprising the countries like Vietnam, they are using this technology. Unfortunately, we are very much far behind, like Vietnam, Thailand. Thailand now recently are transforming their taxations all on blockchain. So they are expecting to recover multi-billion dollars once their project will be implemented and everything is on blockchain. Other part, we see that banks, basically in the start, the banks, they were, like enemy of, they thought this is some enemy, this blockchain or cryptocurrency, that one. And so they become very much against this technology. But once they realize that, no, they have to adopt that one. So they make consortiums in different parts of the world. One of the consortiums I have mentioned that one, that blockchain, the backbone of Bitcoin was created in circumvent traditional financial institution or the bank originally feared obsolescence if unregulated currencies overwhelmed mainstream. Blockchain seems, however, a new friend and it's none other than the global banking system. This